It's Saturday evening and there is one more day to go before it's Manchester Derby. Well, in fact, what is there? Yeah, there's pretty much a day before Manchester United kick off against Manchester City in the Derby tomorrow. But before then, we have you completely up to date, of course, on the live show here on FUTV United TV with all the Manchester United news going around. Ruben Amorim, honest and brutally honest as usual in an interview with Sky, which we're going to talk about now, his biggest fear and what he will not do and stand for at Manchester United. Quite honest and down the line, Ruben Amorim in this interview with Sky Sports. I'm going to go through all of that, the major quotes in it. We have an update from Fabrizio Romano, an interesting one on Victor Osimhen and a possibility of Manchester United getting hold of him. It is an interesting listen, that one, so stay tuned for that. Kobbie Mainoo contract situation update as well. Big development in that in terms of what Kobbie's been offered and why he's been offered it by the club. So update on that coming your way as well in the show tonight. JJ Gabriel, a star has landed. 13-1 for Manchester United against Leeds this morning. Wow, wowee, wow, that was something special. If you haven't seen the goals, you need to watch them. 3 hat-tricks in the game, 2 for one player, and a starring 14-year-old performance for JJ Gabriel, scoring 2 goals in his debut. The youngest player ever to score at Manchester United at under 18 level. What talent we have in that squad, I don't care what anybody else says. And an injury update on a key player for that derby tomorrow as well that might be missing, who played in the last game and has been a monster for us this season as well. All of that rolled into one show and your live comments and interactions along as always here on FUTV United TV. Get to it, people, get into the live chat, that's all I want from you. Of course as well, Manchester United are playing this weekend and we have got our match bingo running as well. Match bingo are our sponsors here on FUTV United TV on game weekend, and tomorrow we will be on the cards again. Match events, download the app right now. The QR code is right there at the bottom right hand corner of your screen and in the description below. You get your cards, £2 a card it is. Obviously buy your cards now for £2. You get 15 match events from throw-ins, goals, get a line, win, get 2 lines, win, get all 15 events, and you win the jackpot, which is up to 250 quid tomorrow. 200 grand has been paid out by Match Bingo already to match going fans and fans sat at home this season. Be part of it to get your Match Bingo cards now. Drop into the description, click on that link or hit the QR code bottom right hand corner there to get the app now. Donate £10 and we'll double it for you and give you £20 to go in. Get it done. I've won a couple of times myself already this season. Not with United though, sadly. It's been other games. I don't seem to win much with United at the moment. Neither did the club. And Ruben Amorim understands the importance of winning games. He understands the importance of getting that time by winning games. He's alluded to it quite a lot. But he has just done another interview with Sky Sports where he has been, I would say, more than honest. He's been right down the line. You know where you stand with Ruben Amorim. That's one thing, isn't it? Excuse me, sorry. And there's no murky water with him. I'll say that. For everything that people have criticised him for so far within I would say the punditry, the media especially, not so much the fans, although a few fans are getting concerned with certain things that are happening right now. But one thing you can't say is he isn't really down the line and honest with you. And he's been opening up. And this is what he said. I'm just going to read it straight out now so you can get into the comment section yourselves and have your say on this. This is what we're starting with tonight. Ruben Amorim on putting pressure on himself to win with Manchester United. I know myself quite well. I cannot spend a lot of time in the halfway. I know myself, I'm not going to handle this type of life. So I'm all forward, and I really think that in the future we can win the Premier League. I don't know when it's going to take time. You can see the club. I want to put pressure on myself because I know I will not stay in the middle ground and try to use excuses. I will not do that. It's not in me, and I know that I'm not going to be able to handle this kind of life. Quite honest and quite open about how he is. He's telling everybody what is going to happen here right now. He won't use excuses. He won't prolong the so-called process and say it's going to take time. It's a process. It's going to take time and time and time. Not digging anyone out there, and I don't think Ruben is, but he has clearly seen the issues at Manchester United before, and he's always been honest, and he's come out here and said, look, this is not going to happen with me. You're not going to get this. I'm not going to be one of them managers or coaches that just hangs around and says, I need more time and I need more time. I understand we need time now. And he talks about the transfer window this summer being the massive importance of it, and this being able for Manchester United to lay the foundation, because obviously last summer there was all of the Euros. He said, obviously, this summer coming up, you've got the Club World Cup, but Manchester United are not in it. And so we've got a full pre-season. And he said it's absolutely huge because the season after is the World Cup. And he knows, he understands what's coming. And Sky pushed him on this, and he said, you're about to find out what it's really like with transfers and what's going on. He also goes into saying, look, big players and big transfers are not necessarily big names. Manchester United, and you can all see the situation again, and he is fully aware of the financials at Manchester United, because he goes on to saying and openly talking about 17-year-olds at clubs that contracts are running out that you need to get into the football club. You need to take advantage of these situations of the football clubs and concentrate on the younger players. Again, there seems to be a massive push down this way. United fans have said we need that experience. Ruben's not alluding to this at all. He's talking about the transfers coming in being very young players and developing from within. But then again, he does talk about time, like I just said, and he won't be one to make excuses. He knows that he cannot win the league or progress even with Manchester United with young 17-year-olds coming through, finding these young talented players. Even if it's 20-year-olds, they're still not good enough, and he knows this. And going back to the press conference yesterday and them two big players, I think there will be two major signings for Manchester United, going off Ruben's saying. The rest are going to be made up by players that are quite young and can develop. I think that's what we've got to look forward to this summer for United, and that's what I think is going to happen, because I think everybody's singing from the same hymn sheet here at United, and where that is good, there isn't cross wires at all or no murky waters between ownership and manager. It's also a little bit of a concern that we are going to be looking at a very, very inexperienced side again going into next season, because we all know who's leaving, and as good as they are or not, we still know the experience that them players have, and that experience is walking out of the door. A lot of it for nothing. Although we are saving on wages, we are losing a lot of players with no transfer fee. Therefore, nothing to spend. And this is why I think Ruben Amorim is talking like this and openly like this. Like, I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not one that's going to say that United are going to take time and time and time and years down the line. We will win the Premier League, he says. I don't know what it's going to be. But the most important thing is Manchester United improve next season. We have to get better. And that's the key in this interview and what Ruben Amorim has been saying. United need to get better. We're not going to win the league, and we're not deluded. We're not going to say crazy things like United are going to win the league in 2 years. He's going down all of this road, and he's right. But there is a concern this summer that we're not going to get the players in that we actually want. There isn't going to be as many anyway. And I do believe like that two sort of figures, two big key signings for United is going to be, I think, the linchpin to everything else that happens. But he says United need to act this summer. This summer is absolutely massive for the football club in the time we've got and developing a squad. I reckon he's thinking he is going to be losing some players and he's going to be getting a couple of decent players in with a few young players in, but he's going to have time with these players. And talking about pre-season, I think for him is him having time to get into his players. Maybe we won't see as many players leaving Manchester United this summer. Maybe he wants to coach these players even more. Maybe he's accepting that Manchester United haven't got a lot of money in this interview and he's going to have to do what's necessary to help Manchester United survive. All of this really just leads down the road of inexperience starting next season. Now, obviously, when you look at the current squad right now, you still got some experienced players. We know that Maguire's staying. You're going to have Delict. You're going to have Mazraoui as well. You're going to have Leach's there. Bruno's still going to be there. You could say Manuel Ugarte in a way. But key signings, I feel, obviously, we know we need an experienced player up front. That, I think, is key. I do. Interesting how we pretty much got confirmation that Liam Delap, he's definitely leaving this summer because Ipswich blew their lead today. Delap did score against Wolves, but Wolves separated them from 17th to 18th, where Ipswich are by 12 points with 7 games to go. Ipswich are down and Liam Delap will be sold. So let's see how that develops now going forward, because them talks, I feel, will start to ramp up. But back to Ruben Amorim there, and I'm going to come to the comment section in a moment. But Ruben talking about what Manchester United need to do this summer and how important it is, but warning everybody, I think, in this piece that it isn't going to be marquee signings at Manchester United. Here we go, here we goes from Fabrizio Romano with big news coming out. It's going to be very, very astute, clever signings from United, and trust in bringing in these younger players. Quite openly saying 17-year-olds that are not getting the contract that they want at other big clubs and giving them the opportunity at our club. And this is where we have to be clever. United, I think, have changed. I think United this summer, I think we're going to see a bit of a shock to the system when it comes to the transfer window. I'm really starting to think now, going off what's been said by everybody, and obviously we can all have our own opinions, but then we kind of forget and we get taken aback a bit, and we don't hear from anybody talking about transfers for a while, and we make up these own plans and ideas in our heads as fans that this is where Manchester United should be going and what's going to have to happen to survive. And we are right in what we're saying, but we're not the ones with the power. We're not the ones calling the shots. And Ruben Amorim there, I think, has made it quite abundantly clear that he's going to have to work with what he's got, and we're going to have to make a few signings best of what we've got financially and work all pre-season to make this team ready. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to say, well, bye-bye Manchester United then. They've got no chance going forward. I kind of agree in a way, but he just wants to improve. And I think United are improving under Ruben Amorim, but we haven't got that killer touch in the final third. I do believe that that is where the big signings are coming. And them two big players that Ruben talked about in his press conference could be forwards. It could be in that area. It could be a 10. It could be a 9. And then the rest of it is built together. Let's not forget what talent Manchester United have got coming through their academy right now. Maybe we're going to utilise some of that. Look, it's hard for me to say. I can only judge off what I hear and what I listen to and watch. And I'm going to come to the chat now and see where you're all at with this as well in terms of how you see this actually going down. Do you think that Ruben Amorim here is telling us that it's not going to be a bonanza summer like it has been before? Gone are the days, like Sir Jim Radcliffe said, of rebuilds every single summer. United spent a fortune last summer on players on certain wages at a certain age. And yes, where them players have done well, the chopping and changing and other key decisions from Ineos and moving coaches and managers around has really ballsed it up for United. They didn't spend the money in the right area. We're not saying that the money wasn't spent well, because a lot of them players have done well this season for United. We're just thinking it's not been spent where it should be, which was up front. And now we are suffering for it this season. I think Ruben knows where the money needs to be spent, but I think he's also being very, very realistic with what he's been told by Ineos. And his job is safe because I think he knows, and I think Ineos know, they can't get rid of him because they cannot really back him. Like Ten Hag was back, for instance, or other managers. They're not going to be able to spend a fortune on him. So let's see how this develops and what he said, and if that is in fact the case this summer and we don't spend a lot of money. Well, let's get into the comment section on this. Thank you for all the likes already. We're creeping up to that 100 mark. Make sure that you do get involved in the live chat as well. You have to subscribe to do that, so make sure that you have hit that button and bell notifications for all of the news that is coming out. Shock horror, we're not going to get all the players we need. Not really a shock horror, but I get it. I think there's a bit of sarcasm in the Dark Muppet Rises there with that one. United is now Wolves, says Ill United. Don't know. I don't think we are. I feel Amorim is pre-planning excuses for next season. Well, interesting you say that, MA, because he has said he's not going to be one of these managers that makes excuses. He's not going to. He cannot handle it. He cannot take the pressure. He can't handle this club if it's going to be telling fans and telling the media week in, week out that there's a process and a plan and it's going to take time. He knows this summer has to bring results next season. And that has to be getting United back up, minimum, into that top 6. I think every single Manchester United fan, hand on heart, would say if United got in the top 6 next season, that would be a success from where we are in the league right now. That would have United in and around it and in the mix. Let's just say. We're in and around where Newcastle are now. And that, I think, is a good season for United next season. I think that's a bare minimum. And I think that's what he's saying as well in this. From my side of it, look, you can look at this whichever way you want. And like MA says there, he thinks it's an excuse already for next season's failures. A lot of people are saying that without the signings. I can see him in the chat saying that we're not going to get anywhere next season. It's just not going to happen. Shakina says that Delap is going to end up with Chelsea. He fits better with that team. We need a proven goal scorer, not Delap. Well, he scored in the last 2 games, and he scored double what Manchester United forwards have this season. So he's not done bad. I'll give him that. He's not done bad, has he? But again, I think you might be right in terms of him going to Chelsea, because the news that we brought out this morning was that Liam Delap wants to actually play European football next season. God, the brass of these players, I tell you. But look, that's where they're at right now. When he's doing well, and he has got quite a high stock at the moment, Delap, and his agent's going to push on that. I don't think United are going to be taken to the cleaners for it. And there is now an opportunity, according to Fabrizio Romano, and this is where I wanted to just move it on a little bit from Ruben's comments about the transfer market, because Fabrizio Romano has come out on YouTube and told the world, basically, that Manchester United could get Victor Osimhen cheaper than the 63 million release clause. Now, he explained this in a way where if United, Napoli are scared. And this is what Romano has said. Napoli is scared of the scenario of Victor Osimhen going down to deadline again and them getting nothing for him and having to loan him again like they did last summer. They are 100% set and ready to move on Osimhen as soon as the season finishes, and they will not allow it to drag on to the end of the summer. So what Romano has said on top of that is that if Manchester United do go in to Napoli and make a deal early doors and get this out of the way in June, he said as well. So, for instance, June, when the window opens on June 1st, if United are ready to go, United could negotiate a deal where they're not paying as much money, but the price suits both parties, or a deal suits both parties. That might mean Man United paying more up front for Victor Osimhen. That also might mean, and there was a little bit on top of this, maybe someone else like Garnacho moving in the opposite direction. Now, United can operate and do this deal better because Osimhen is not on loan. He's officially coming back, and Romano has said this. There is no doubt that Galatasaray is done at the end of the season. He's going back to Napoli, and United will then be dealing with Osimhen and Napoli instead of Napoli, Osimhen and Galatasaray like we was trying to do apparently in January. So in June, if United go in and they can do a deal for Garnacho and they can do a deal for Osimhen and go to the table and say, bang, it might not be with Garnacho, by the way. I'm not saying that this is the bit that makes the deal happen or Garnacho is the key to it all going through. No, what Romano is saying is Manchester United might go in and negotiate a deal instantly because Napoli want this done as soon as possible. Osimhen is not going to help Napoli out at all. They're at loggerheads and they can't stand each other. So Napoli don't want this to drag on any more through the transfer window other than the first month is possible. And this is coming from Romano, and you can actually say that, you know what, he knows, and the people within Napoli and what Romano has spoken to, or what he's alluding to here, are saying, look, he feels like there is something that can happen for Osimhen very quickly. United are in. United, I feel, they'd have to convince Osimhen in the first place, and that's going to come down to wages. And then I think with Napoli, if you are going to get a cheaper deal like Romano says, which I still don't see it happening or how it could happen, because they know they can get that money for him elsewhere, but maybe everybody's going to be in the same boat here. And maybe Napoli are thinking, look, if this drags on and we don't get the right deal and we're forced to loan him again, then we cannot. Oh, actually, no, because I don't think, and I'm not sure, and I keep forgetting to check this rule whether you're allowed to loan a player in the last year of his deal or not. Napoli can't afford for him not to be sold this window, is basically where we're at. So maybe it doesn't have to be 63 million. Maybe it could be a bit less for United, but they make a bigger down payment on the deal. Maybe that's what suits Napoli a little bit more. Look, this is what Romano has said, and I'm just going through it. But United have got a chance, apparently, of not having to pay the 63 million for Victor Osimhen like his release clause says. That's where Manchester United are at when it comes to the Victor Osimhen deal as well. So that, I feel, is an important update on Victor Osimhen, because talking about Delap like we was just a moment ago there, and him holding out for European football, but Osimhen not, it's kind of weird, isn't it, actually, how Liam Delap wants European football, but Osimhen's not too fussed about it. It doesn't sit right with me. It really doesn't. But look, whichever way United go with it, whether they want to offer a Garnacho in there, we'll have to see what happens with Garnacho, obviously. Ruben has already said that he wants to keep him, but if United can get Osimhen in, this is one of Ruben's big players. And we know we need that experienced guaranteed goal scorer up front. That will make a massive difference for United. I 100% feel like Osimhen is the type of player that will change Manchester United's fortunes instantly. I do. And some people I know don't agree with me, and some people don't even rate Osimhen. But I feel like he is the best we can get. And we all know it. Everybody else is out of the equation completely. I think Arsenal will chase down Victor Gyökeres. I think that's their man. And he is perfect for them right now, because obviously Sporting, we know, are in a position where they will sell Osimhen cheaper than his release clause to bigger clubs in the Premier League. Arsenal being one of them. United were one of them, but United are not going to go near him. They're not going to pay that money. And, of course, you've got the Champions League football factor. He wants to be playing in the Champions League, in which Arsenal will definitely be playing in next season. So that's where we're at. Maybe Osimhen is falling into our lap a little bit here. He's turned down Juventus. Arsenal are going for Victor Gyökeres. If Delap does go to Chelsea, that's a bonus as well. City won't buy him because they've got Haaland and Mamouche now as well. And of course, you're looking at other clubs like, we'll see what Aston Villa do, but I don't see him going there. No disrespect to them. Other clubs around, is there anyone bigger, nostalgia-wise and club-wise? There are better teams than United in the Premier League, higher up the division, but still, can you see an Osimhen going to them? I don't think so. I don't. I think that's where the Manchester United lure does creep in a little bit with this. So that is an interesting update on that one. And United still holds some cards for getting him. That's all I will say from what Romano has said there. And I'm just going through what Romano has said and his explanation of why Manchester United might be able to get Victor Osimhen a little bit cheaper than that release clause. So, yeah, that's all that is anyway. But let's see what you say in the comments as well on this one. Tomorrow is a must-win, will win a game against Newcastle. Please play some of the youth before the home game versus Lyon. Hi Adam, Philip says, for what I understand, that you can't loan on final year. I see a swap deal happening. Yeah, that's what I thought as well, Philip. And it's something I've known, but then second-guess myself on all of the time. But I don't think there is any option other than Napoli having to sell Osimhen. So you got three strikers guaranteed to leave this summer, which are Delap, Gyökeres, and Osimhen. I think all Premier League players next season. I do. I believe it's going to happen. I am scared that he may chase the money, Osimhen, and go to Saudi. I am. I'm still there. We talked about that the other day, actually. But if he turned down, if Arsenal are not going to be in for him and they go Gyökeres, Chelsea are not, and then obviously he's turned down Juventus, so he's not staying in Italy. He wants to move to the Premier League. Premier League or the Saudi Pro League is what it is for Victor Osimhen. Come on, United. Make this happen. This has to happen for us. We need a player like that. Osimhen to PSG, they need a number 9. I don't know, Graham, actually. I don't know. I mean, I can see it. Yeah, I could see that. But again, it's the French league. But then again, yeah, you're probably right, because Osimhen really doesn't look like he's too fussed. If he's even considering the Saudi Pro League, then PSG do come into it. They do. I just don't know. I think I think there is an appeal. He wants to go to the Premier League. And that's what I'm thinking. That's a lot of noises that have come about as well. There is a Premier League appeal to Victor Osimhen. And there is a connection with United. And there is something there. Look, we may be sat here again looking at him only signing for somebody else in the summer. And then I don't know where we go striker-wise. I really don't. It'll be interesting. United are negotiating, and I've spoken with Liam Delap's representatives. So, June 1st is going to be mental. Everyone's going to be in that rush, because let's not forget, FIFA have opened up the transfer window early so the teams in the Club World Cup can get things moving. One of them teams in the Club World Cup is Chelsea. So we're going to see them move. And we're going to see them move for players that obviously will give them a chance of winning that huge prize of the Club World Cup, which is over 100 million to anybody who wins it. So yes, June 1st is going to be kickoff. And I think it's going to get going straight away. Pretty much like the Grand National was earlier on, actually. Jonathan in the chat says, Adam, do you think we will create enough chances for a striker to be successful? Yes, because Ruben's system will have been worked on in a pre-season with new players and actual wing-backs. I do. I think we will create chances. I think we're creating chances now. We should have scored plenty of goals in the last few games. We did, in fact, but we should have beat Nottingham Forest. 100% we should have beat Forest at the City Ground. We were a better side. United Spotlight just renewed his membership. Road to 100k. Hit subscribe, everybody. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV. Give the video a like. We're on our way to 200 likes on the show. Creeping up to the 150 mark now. So if you haven't already, give it a like. Thank you. Cunha Delap and Jonathan David, if possible. That's where I am. And I think it's good enough for a top 4. Oosh, Liaf. Going right in on that one there. Corinthians says, haha, you need to change your underwear more, or you are mixing with some mingers. What the hell is that all about? Is that to somebody else? It can't be for me. It's got no relevance at all to what I'm talking about, is it? Unless he's talking in code, which sometimes I do miss. I'll openly admit that, but hey. Kieran says, need to look to sell Maguire in the summer, otherwise we'll get nothing or have to extend his contract. Rashford and Antoinette need to be sold, maybe Garnacho too, just to get Ruben his players. Maguire's an interesting one. We've heard all of this talk about younger centre-backs coming in again, and I said this morning, there's a few that United are looking at this summer. It's not a priority position. It's only a priority if Harry Maguire is sold. And Kieran's right there. I don't see Maguire leaving, though. He doesn't want to go. And I don't know if United have extended his contract because they're looking to sell him. And Ruben coming out and saying it was a no-brainer that we're extending his deal. Or we're triggering the one-year deal that we can put on the end of his current contract. I don't know if that was all false or that was just to cover it up. And he is going to be sold this summer. We will see, won't we? But I don't personally see Maguire leaving. I don't. Justin Mears says, Amorim said that this summer is going to be crucial to United's success the next season, and we need to move quickly in the transfer market to get the new players in so they can learn the system. Yeah, he talked about the importance of it. I did talk about that right at the top of the show, and you're right, he is looking at this transfer window as to laying the foundations for Manchester United going forward. And he's talking about young players coming in. We do have a few young players in our midst right now as well, and I want to move on to Kobbie Mainoo being one of them younger players who has just burst on the screen the last season. We've had many conversations about Kobbie Mainoo and his contract situation at Manchester United, and this I think is developing to an interesting stage now, and this is an interesting update actually. I'm just going to read through what Sean Conley has said through contacts at Manchester United. Kobbie Mainoo has always wanted to stay at Manchester United and the club do not want him to leave. There is an expected standoff regarding the salary because that's what agents do. He is on approximately 20 grand per week and wants his club/international status acknowledged in his take home, as in what money he takes home. There is a belief that an agreement can be reached to bring the player to a figure similar to Lenny Yoro and Ahmad, which would include performance-related add-ons and a scaling system to aid with PSR compliance. Very, very key paragraph right there in that there. An agreement can be reached to bring the player, first of all, to a figure similar to Lenny Yoro and Ahmad. Now, Kobbie Mainoo has done nothing to earn anything more than Ahmad. And I think that's what everybody's been talking about. If he is going to max out and be a superstar, fine. But that's what this contract is based on. There is a scaling system in place as well. He's not going to be on any more than the likes of Yoro or Ahmad. They're the youngest players at the club on over 100 grand a week right now. Yoro 115, Ahmad's on 120. But scaling for PSR is key in this. So the scaling is performance-related rises to his contract through the length of the actual deal. So that would mean, obviously, in 2 years, if United are competing in the Champions League, or he has helped United in the Champions League, and we're doing more, and we're performing, we're winning more, his wages will go up and scale up alongside PSR and that squad ratio wage rule as well, which is kicking in. So there is a system in place within these wages now where players can earn more, but you've got to play more and you've got to play well to get that wage. It's exactly where United need to be. I've got no issue with this type of deal. You're stuck on this wage unless you do better. That's what needs to happen with all of our players. And if Kobbie Mainoo wants to be a part of Manchester United, like we all hope he is going to be, then he has to fall in line with everybody else in this new system. Otherwise, it's bye. Adios, wherever it is you want to go. And I don't think there's any Man United fan that's going to be concerned with that. No Man United fan is going to say that Kobbie Mainoo should be on more than Ahmad. Not one. So I feel that he will fall in line. I think he will sign a new deal. And I personally believe that this is the way United are moving forward right now. And part of this new structure is that these players get rewarded for playing better. And this is where they need to be. They need to be on decent money if they earn that money. And these players now can see it and have the incentive to go for it. And that shouldn't be the case. You should be able to play football no matter what. But just so they know and they're clear in their minds that this is how it's going to be at United and they can settle into their football and get on with things and know that the manager isn't going to be booted out because they're not happy and they're not going to get any more money, then I think that's the line and that's the standard that United are trying to set. And when you start getting players like Kobbie under it, Ahmad, Lenny Yoro, all the younger players, the future of this football club, all falling in line. And eventually you'll see the back ends of Maguire's, Rashford's, Anthony, Sancho, Bruno Fernandes eventually as well. The big earners at the club will start to drift out. The wages will come down, go up a little bit with the newer players, but that's just through performances. This new age of player at United right now needs to be on these incentivised wages. And I think them moving forward takes United into the new era, I feel. And I think that's what the club are looking at. They're giving the younger players these deals very similar, which can go up with better performance. I think that is key. Also, the last bit of this paragraph is the line remains the same as when we exclusively reported in January. Barring travesty, Mainoo will not be sold, and both parties are committed to sealing a long-term agreement. That's the statement from Sean Connery through a source at Manchester United. They want him to stay. He wants to stay. There just needs to be a coming together in the middle. And this structured scaling system wages to fall in line with PSR is exactly where Kobbie Mainoo needs to be. I'm happy with that. I think that's where United should be. I think that is where Manchester United need to be with all of their players. Not just the younger players. Players coming in will get more. New players signing for Manchester United will get more if you perform well. And that needs to be the message coming across to all new players coming into the football club. And I think that's right. I really do. Also, obviously, you would have seen today Manchester United under-18s. We've got to talk about this. 13-1. Wow. A double hat-trick for Victor Musa. He scored an hat-trick within 14 minutes. There's a short up on it, actually. I've done before, actually. So you can go watch that. But just so you know exactly what we're saying in that. A hat-trick within 14 minutes. A double hat-trick before half-time. And then Jimmy Thwaites got his hat-trick to make it 9-0 with 3 hat-tricks, which is scary. And then obviously United turned on the afterburners as well. Arm scored one as well to make it 10. And then JJ came on. And that was it. A 14-year-old, the youngest player ever to score at under 18 level at Manchester United in the club's history. At 14, getting 2 goals as well. And man, he looked lively. He looked very, very lively. When you've got the likes of Ibrahimoff at 16 and JJ at 14 and everybody else coming through right now, Obbie at 17, you can see what Ruben's talking about and the foundations and Manchester United moving forward. And it looks brilliant. It really does. And I'm chuffed, absolutely chuffed, that they've managed to put that semi-final defeat against Villa in the week behind them and go out there and smash Leeds of all teams after Leeds bottled it again today. It's funny, isn't it? Leeds are falling apart again. You love to sing the song. It's been a good weekend so far. Can we finish it off tomorrow is the key question in all of this. And I will come to all of the chat in a moment. But by the way, Musa is the only substitute that didn't get on the pitch in the semi-final. And I think he's taking his frustrations out on Leeds today and scored 6 goals. Oh, crazy. Absolutely crazy. But the derby tomorrow could be missing one player, and we're being told isn't going to feature, who is Matthias de Ligt. Them tests that Ruben was talking about, apparently, and this is just a rumour going around at the moment, I've been told that it doesn't look likely that Matthias de Ligt will feature for Manchester United tomorrow. It's come too soon in his recovery, and I don't think they want to risk him ahead of Lyon. And it's sad to say that a game against Lyon is more important than the Manchester derby, but it is. And I am all for Manchester United looking after these players and making sure that they're not going to come a cropper in the biggest games of the season. So, yes, Matthias de Ligt looks like he may miss out on the Manchester derby, sadly. A bit gutting, to be honest. It really is. But, look, it is what it is. And Lyon is more important. Sadly, it is. And we've actually got something to really play for this season in the Europa League, which could be significant when United go into. So, yeah. When United go into the transfer window this summer, if United are in the Champions League because of us looking at the Europa League seriously right now and winning it, then that will be huge for the club. It'd be huge for Ruben Amorim, the budget and everything coming in. And maybe United could make even bigger changes in the summer. Look, we'll see, won't we? But yeah, that's the update on Matthias de Ligt as well on that side of things. Let's get into some of the comments on this. Musa showed us Obe not the only 9 we have with quality in the under-18s, says Danny. Yes, indeed. We won't overhype him too early, Golden, but he's a baller. Look, he is an absolute baller. He looks pure quality. Lots of learning years to come. And let's not get carried away with ourselves, but you just look at the pathways. And I said this about Ibrahimov as well. A 16-year-old in the under-21s is crazy. A 14-year-old in the under-18s is stupendous. It is. Whichever way you look at it, he should not be in the under-18s. He shouldn't. He's 14. And he could play in the under-18s for another 4 years. And he's playing there now. These players are getting ahead of time. And when you look for quality in the youth academy, you look for players way ahead of where their development should be. And you have got a couple of them players coming through at United now. Thankfully, they are very young and we have got time to work with them. And the academy will treat these players right. And the new system in place now at United's academy, which is definitely better than what it was, which is why I made that video the other day about the dark side of Manchester United's academy. Back then, I don't know what was going on. You can only surmise what was going on because of the decay of them players and their attitudes and what has happened to them. But now it's all changed. And I do believe that we have got the right people in place to actually make a difference at this football club. So, yes, I feel like these players are in good hands. I'm not getting carried away just yet, but I'm going to enjoy it. As a United fan, I'm going to look at that and go, all right, the future is there. The future is not orange. Obviously, that's a crap joke, sorry. The future is there for Manchester United. We've just got to try and get a little bit back up there in the first team and the here and now. And that all comes down to games like tomorrow and Thursday night and what we can do. And then the transfer window, like Ruben Amorim at the top of this show was talking about and how important it is. But we could be bringing in even more younger players over the summer. Chrissy says, isn't Osimhen a United supporter or am I imagining I heard that? He's been seen with a picture with a United shirt. It was the one with Igalo, obviously, as well. And there is a link there with that one. I think Igalo has said, look, he wants to come to United. Or he's told him to go to United. But yeah, that really doesn't matter, does it? Your Premier League table is a bit outdated. Not updated it from today's games because Villa was still playing. They update it after everyone's played, mate. So tomorrow morning it will be updated. So, Barman, you nosy bugger, thanks for picking that up. And we will have it updated tomorrow, buddy. Don't worry. Garnacho could learn from Ibrahimov. He passes instead of shooting because his teammates have better chances of scoring. True team player. Ibrahimov, I've got no concern at all. He will be an absolute player for Manchester United. Okay, look, we need 14 likes to hit that 200 live like mark. Let's do that, and I guarantee you tomorrow we're going to be talking about Man United winning the Manchester derby. All focus from this point right here is now on the Manchester derby. And can Manchester United upset Manchester City again and do the double over Man City this season? These under-18s could be playing in the new stadium in a few years, says Jonathan. Incentive. Yes, indeed. Ineos has to get the balance right, or this could end up even worse, in an even worse version than the Chelsea model. No way it's going to be any worse than Chelsea's model, I don't think, mate. That is a different setup altogether, I feel, on that one. But yeah. Look, mods, members, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We will be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp. Sunday show and the paper round on the Football Talk show as well. Busy day as well tomorrow. And I will hopefully see a few of you at Old Trafford for the game. If you're out and about, if you're at the actual derby, please do come and say hello. You know where we are. Always outside the East Stands before the game, on about 45 minutes to an hour before. Come and have a chat with us before we go in. And I will see you all then. Thank you, everybody. Give the video a like on the way out. We did just hit the 200 live like mark. Thank you, everyone. You are legends. Make sure you've subscribed to Forever United TV. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a fantastic evening, everyone, whatever you're up to. And, yeah, big up the Reds. It's our derby day tomorrow. Manchester's